The sun was rising over the African jungle. Its warm rays filtered through the thick canopy, casting a golden glow on the forest floor. Birds sang their morning songs, and the jungle began to wake up. MBIRA, the queen of this vast jungle, stood tall and proud on a high rock. She was strong and graceful, with eyes that saw everything. Every morning, she made sure her home was safe and at peace. She was the protector, the leader, and the heart of this wild land. Her people, a group of skilled warriors and loyal followers, trusted and followed her, ensuring they loved her at all costs. MBIRA began her day with meditation. She closed her eyes, listened to the sounds of the jungle, the rustle of leaves, the distant roar of a lion, the chirping of insects. All these sounds filled her mind, grounding her to her surroundings. After meditating, she practiced her fighting skills. MBIRA was a master warrior. She moved with the speed and grace of a cheetah, her spear an extension of her arm. And after training, MBIRA walked through the jungle, checking on her people and the wildlife. She smiled as she saw children playing and women gathering fruits. The animals seemed content and the plants were healthy. MBIRA felt a deep sense of peace, but that peace was shattered when she heard the sound of a horn. It was the alarm signal coming from a nearby village. MBIRA's heart raced. She knew that sound meant trouble. Without wasting a moment, she sprinted towards the village. Her warriors, sensing the urgency, followed close behind. The path through the jungle was familiar, but today it felt different, more dangerous. When they reached the village, MBIRA saw chaos. Huts were destroyed, and people were crying. Their huts burning, some turned to ashes. The villagers were gathered in the center, the village square with their faces pale with fear. MBIRA quickly found the village elder, an old man named Kwam. Queen MBIRA, Kwame said, his voice trembling. We were attacked by creatures, big cats, but they were not normal. Their eyes, they seemed human. MBIRA's eyes narrowed. She had seen many things in the jungle, but this was new and terrifying. Big cats with human intelligence? This was a threat unlike any she had faced before. MBIRA wasted no time. She ordered her best scout to track the creatures while she stayed with the villagers to gather more information. She needed to understand what they were dealing with. The scouts were skilled at moving through the jungle without being seen. They followed the trail left by the big cats, moving quickly but carefully. MBIRA meanwhile spoke with the villagers. They described the attack, how the cat had moved with purpose, how they seemed to communicate with each other. They were not hunting for food, one villager said. They were looking for something or someone. MBIRA's mind raced. This was not a random attack. These creatures had a plan. She had to find out what it was. The scouts returned with disturbing news. They had found strange footprints, large, cat-like, but with traces of human characteristics. The scouts also reported that the cat had retreated to a part of the jungle that was rarely visited by humans. We need to investigate, MBIRA said. Gather the warriors, we leave at once. That night, MBIRA and her warriors set out towards the part of the jungle where the big cats were last seen. The moon was full, casting an airy light over the dense forest. MBIRA moved silently, her senses sharp, She knew they were walking into danger, but she had to protect her home. She had a lot of responsibilities. After hours of tracking, they reached a clearing. MBIRA signaled her warriors to stop. She could sense the presence of the big cats. They were close. She scanned the area, looking for any sign of movement. Suddenly, she saw them. The big cats emerged from the shadows, their eyes glowing in the moonlight. They were larger than any cat MBIRA had seen, with powerful muscle and a predatory glance. But it was their eyes that struck her. The intelligence behind them was unmistakable, as their eyes showed quick wits. MBIRA raised her spear. "Ready yourself," she whispered to the warriors. The cats charged, and the battle began. MBIRA fought with all her might, her spear flashing in the moonlight. The cats were fast and strong, but MBIRA was faster. She moved with precision, landing blow after blow. Her warriors fought bravely, but the cats were relentless. One of the cats lunged at MBIRA, but she dodged it, striking it with her spear. The cat let out a roar that sounded almost human. It was then that MBIRA realized that these were not ordinary animals. They were something more dangerous than she has expected. And after what felt like hours, the cats retreated. MBIRA watched them disappear into the jungle. Her heart pounding. She had won the battle, but she knew this was just the beginning. And as dawn broke, MBIRA stood at the edge of the clearing, watching the sun rise. She felt a mix of relief and worry. The jungle was safe for now, but she knew the big cats would return someday. Indeed, they were smart and determined, and they had a plan. MBIRA gathered her warriors. "We have faced a new enemy," she said, "but we will not be defeated. We will strengthen our defenses, gather more information, and prepare for their return. The jungle is our home, and we will protect it at all costs." Her warriors cheered, their spirit lifted by MBIRA's determination. They knew that their queen would lead them through this dark time. They trusted her completely, and MBIRA spent the next few days preparing. She sent scouts to gather information about the big cats and their movements. She fortified the village, setting up traps and defenses. She trained her warriors fiercely, days and nights, hours, long hours, ensuring they ate healthily. She made sure they were ready for the next battle. But MBIRA also knew she needed to understand the enemy better. She needed to find out who or what was behind these attacks. She had the feeling this was just the beginning of a larger conflict. One evening, as she sat by the fire, having a little thought and reflective feedback, MBIRA thought about her people, her home, her childhood, her memories. This jungle was beautiful and a wild place. This jungle was full of life and wonder. And she told herself she would do anything to protect it. And she knew that no matter what, she would succeed. The fight was just the beginning, but MBIRA was ready. She was the jungle queen, and she would not let any threats harm her home, her memories, her pride, her throne, her people. She knew she will have to protect the village at all costs.